For years, Man City have denied that their owner Sheikh Mansour has broken any financial rules, but leaked internal emails found within the club courtesy of investigative journalism outlet Der Spiegel tell us an entirely different story, with evidence of backdated contracts, illusory sponsorship payments, and the brazen we can do what we want approach that has done untold damage to the integrity of the Premier League brand. This is part 1 of 4 of a series where I'll be exposing just how deep Man City's cheating goes, so let's get straight into it. Since being bought by Abu Dhabi way back in 2008, Man City have managed to climb their way into the top echelons of European football while creating a global empire that currently consists of 13 different clubs. The trouble is though, their newfound lure is rooted in a web of lies. The first of which started a year after Sergio Aguero's iconic winner versus QPR. An email circulated to staff at the club openly discussed how there's going to be a shortfall of £9.9 million to comply with FFP in 2013. Man City's chief financial officer at the time, Jorge Cumilas, wrote that the deficit was due to the termination of Roberto Mancini's contract following a 1-0 defeat in the FA Cup final to Wigan Athletic. He added that the only solution left would be to use Abu Dhabi sponsorship to cover the gap. Here's why this is problematic. Normally, sponsors sign contracts with the team obligating them to pay a fixed amount for the privilege of advertising with the club. Thereafter, the money can be used in several different ways by the club, from signing players to maintaining the training ground. Should a team's planning be off, or they end up spending more than what the initial business plan insinuated, the club shows a loss at the end of the season. As it turns out, Man City's no normal club. Costs and debt go out the fucking window as far as they're concerned. Whenever a so-called loss appears to be on the cards, sponsors from the UAE pop up out of nowhere and send them more money, many of whom don't even appear to actually exist. To dodge UEFA sanctions, the Man City management team came up with a few creative proposals. Club executive Simon Pearce suggested they do a backdated deal for the next 2 years paid up front, which is essentially financial fraud, while CEO Ferran Soriano proposed sponsors pay the team a contractually obligated bonus for winning the FA Cup, even though City hadn't won that year, which is even bigger financial fraud. Eventually, after much deliberation, the suits decided to adjust the details of existing sponsorship contracts. Etihad suddenly paid £1.5 million more, while Abar stumped up 500,000 quid from thin air. The Tourism Authority of Abu Dhabi went a step further by dishing out £5.5 million of their own cash, and they were all supposed to act as though the deal had been agreed at the beginning of the season. For all the jackasses in the comments section saying Man City are gonna sue me, your club were literally manipulating contracts. When Kumulas asked his colleague Simon Pearce if they could change the date of payment for the sponsors from Abu Dhabi, Pearce, embodying the spirit of City's ownership, answered, "Of course, we can do what we want." Had the club openly gone on a shopping spree with the Sheikh's money, expenditures would have had to been declared, quickly putting the balance sheet in red. However, since the said money was disguised as sponsorship revenue, City found a way to escape any sanctions. Going back to Abar, who are supposedly a diversified investment company, Man City agreed that they would pay the club £15 million annually. However, the contract they signed only stated a direct obligation of 3 million quid. This is because the remaining 12 million came straight out of His Highness's pocket. Honest to God, lads, reading this made my blood boil. This lot pissed all over the same FFP rules which are currently being used to take Everton and Forest to the cleaners. If you think this is bad though, wait till you see what's in store for part 2. Until then, do let me know your take on everything down below, and I'll catch you in the next one, folks. Peace.